created a magazine and a publication and a platform, but I don't have journalism in my background at all, right? If I had to string two sentences together for my life, like I'd be really worried,
No,
but it's because it's the biggest platform for me to have a conversation with people like you that create a space where they love doing what they're doing, that you become a leader and a voice and a thought leader in that space, and then you just go for it. I mean, who would have imagined a man from Germany who comes over, falls in love with, Bowling Green University, and then doesn't really play sports at all, kind of plays tennis, kind of, likes to go to the gym, but other than that, not in sport, but finds it as an avenue or a tool for a message and a calling around social justice. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I can tell you, it's, looking back now, obviously I would have never thought, like, growing up, this is what I do, but now it all makes sense looking back. But I did have a full circle moment talking about sport and social justice. So this past year was a really big year for me professionally and personally, because I was appointed to the Team USA Council on Racial and Social Justice that was put together by the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee. So they put together a council dedicated to eradicating racial injustice, social injustice. And there's over 40 Team USA Olympic and Paralympic athletes and alumni on the council, and only 4 national experts. So I was one of them, which was, awesome to be appointed to that. Honestly, a dream come true. And one of the athletes I was working with on the council that was on the steering committee I was on was John Carlos. So the person who raised their fist in the 68 Olympics. So for me, first of all, I was in there in meetings when he was sharing his story that obviously I've read about for years now, trying not to freak out, because I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so insightful, valuable, but also just, it made me really proud of how far I've come from, stepping off that plane in Toledo, going to Bowling Green, and now 8 years later, I get to like drive change with this council, with some of the people who are the giants in the field. And for me, the reason I was brought on was because for their steering committee on protests and demonstrations, they were looking for an expert with expertise in that area. So I was kind of a natural fit for that. And one of my main to-dos on the council was to help the council write a response to International Olympic Committee Rule 50, which says that you can't protest during the Olympics. So we published a recommendation in December of last year on International Human Rights Day, saying that IOC Rule 50 should be amended and that Olympic and Paralympic athletes should no longer be sanctioned by the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee for protesting for racial and social justice. And the USOPC actually followed our recommendation and said they will no longer sanction athletes who are fighting for racial and social justice, which, there was history in the making. And it's one of those times where like you're in the room and history is being made. And I know I'll never forget like that whole experience. And it's been such an impactful year, in a year where I think we've all struggled, on multiple levels. But I found so much meaning in this work, and it's been such an honor just working on making history in sport as a German in the United States.